Hi guys, so this is just the second video in the introduction section. So I'm going to talk about reward and food value. With our rewards, we have 3 rewards that we can use when training our dogs. We have food, which is the most common one and it's the easiest one to use, to be honest. So we will be using that one quite a lot. We also have toys. Now with toys, I don't mean the toys that your dogs just run about and play with in the house. Toys for training that I use are very specific, so they're toys that the dog plays with me with. So they're not just your toys like bones or little fluffy toys. They're toys that have handles so that I can play with the dog, and it is referred to as tug of war and stuff like that. It's not going to cause your dog to be aggressive. So that's the main point I want to put out, is that tug of war, or interactive toy play as I like to call it, will not make your dog aggressive. That is a myth. What it does is it engages your dog with you, and you've got the toy in between. So the dog is playing with the toy, which is playing with you, so you're all getting that reward and the value is on you. With toys that the dogs run about the house with, because they've got access to them all the time, they don't value them as much. So I would today pick whatever toy you think would suit that best. So if it's like a fluffy toy but it's quite long and you could, move it about, then pick that and put it in the cupboard. Don't let your dog have it all the time. Let them have other toys throughout the day, because especially because most of our guys are puppies just now, we don't want them chewing other things. So definitely let them have toys, but pick a certain toy that is going to be their training toy, or maybe 2. I'll talk about that more as the weeks come in, but yeah, I would definitely pick a toy that can be their training toy for just now. And the other thing we can do is just general praise. So my dogs, when I'm like, oh wow, you're such a good boy, or what a good girl, whatever it is, they love that as well. I always put that one with the others though. I don't tend to use it on its own too much, so I would praise and play with a toy, or praise and treat. Just so that just now you want to really engage with your puppies and get them to be like, you're the most amazing thing in the world, I want to work for you, rather than, oh hi. You don't want them to think you're boring. Okay, so with food, we've got different values of food. So we've got our high value food, we've got our low value food. Low value food is things like your dog's dog food, certain shop bought treats, and these are things that you can train them with just now. It's totally fine, but when we start introducing distractions and things that are maybe a little bit harder for your dogs, I would then convert onto the high value food. And high value food is things like cheese, ham, sausage, chicken. Now, not in big portions, especially with this with puppies. You want it really small, almost as small as their dog food kibble. And again, I wouldn't use too much of it either. The way that I do my sessions, if I am doing them in the house, that is your green zone, so it's really easy for them to learn in there because there's not as many distractions. That is where I would be using their low value food. When you're in the garden and surrounding areas, it's a little bit more distracting. There could be birds flying about, cars, other dogs, cats, anything. That's when I would probably start introducing some high value food. That's your amber zone. And then you've got your red zone, which is when you're out on walks. It's different smells, different noises, different people, different animals. It's really distracting. That's exactly when I'd be using high value food. That's your red zone. So what I would recommend over the next few weeks, when you guys are working, you want to make sure you're starting in your house, which is your green zone. If you're getting 80 to 100% success, you would then take it into your garden and surrounding areas. If you're then getting 80 to 100% success there, then you're then taking it onto your walk. So for example, I wouldn't take, say, for example, we've got a 9-10 week old puppy and we do one session on sit. I wouldn't then go outside, let him off lead, run about the field and say sit. He's not going to do that. So that's how you have to look at your success rates with your dogs. Make sure that they've got a high success rate before building up a stage and introducing more distractions. So environment plays a big deal. So just make sure you remember your traffic light system, so your green, amber and red, and then your treat values to kind of coincide with that in your training. Another quick thing about your training sessions is they're not going to be long. So when I'm training, especially you guys with your young pups, I'd be doing about 5 minutes training, not solid on the one thing either. I would be doing a little bit of training, a little bit of playing, a little bit of training, a little bit of playing, a little bit of training, and then finish, just for about 5 minutes. It doesn't even have to be as long as that. For the ones that I've got, there's a couple that have maybe perhaps about 5-6 months old. I would say you could probably push it to a 10-minute training session, but again, I wouldn't do much more than that. When I'm working my guys, like, they would carry on working. Sprite personally would work for hours if he could. I would push him for about 20 minutes if I'm doing brain work and stuff like that. If I'm then doing agility, it's less than that. You never want to overdo sessions because you don't want them boring and you don't want your dogs to give up or to end the session. You want to be the person to end the session. So if you think, yes, that was amazing, let's stop there, rather than your dog going, oh, I don't want to do a sit anymore, and just wandering off. So just make sure they're short, fun sessions. So that's just a bit about rewards and your training sessions. I've got one more video that I'm going to go into with the introduction section, and then we are ready to start tomorrow.